Hello, good evening, and good morning for those who are joining us from around the globe. Thank you for joining us today. Today's topic is about how to be your child home therapist. We will be discussing some topics, and the main idea here is empowerment. Empowerment for you as parent, as a mom, as a dad, or even for the sibling around the child. For empowerment, just you need to remember as a mom that you are not alone. There should be people around you supporting and helping, but you need to ask for help. How to be your child home therapist is a very wide and broad topic, I would say. We will go through the most important points so you will find yourself in the right place to help yourself, to help your child, and to help the people around you. And the most important, of course, your child. Let's agree on one thing at the beginning that when I say home therapist, the child home therapist, as a mom, I would never ask you to be the full therapist because everyone has his own role. So before thinking of doing therapy, like start working with the child, today my child get diagnosed and I want to start working with him, I wouldn't go fast like to find a resources and sit work or sit start doing therapy for my child at home. No, the first thing I would recommend you to do is to ask the specialist. Specialist means go to the right person who would provide the correct service for your child or to decide the correct service to be delivered for your child. Usually, every child has a team of therapists or team of specialists around him, depend on the child needs. And as we all know, and we all agree that autism is a wide spectrum. Wide spectrum means everyone is different, everyone is unique. So everyone's needs, everyone's behavior, everyone's abilities, everyone's strength is different than each other. That's why everyone will have a special need and a special plan and a special way of working with him. As I mentioned earlier, the first thing to do is to go to the right place to decide the correct need of your child. For example, the child team, sorry, might be, or the team around the child might include a pediatrician, developmental pediatrician, a psychologist or clinical psychologist, a team of therapists, including behavior therapists. Some kids might need occupational therapy. Some kids might need special education services. Some kids might need speech and language therapy. Some kids might need physiotherapy or other type of services. How can we decide? Of course, through a proper in-depth assessment. When the proper therapist do the in-depth assessment for the child, he can come out with results of the assessment depend on the curriculum that he used to the assessment, assessing different areas of growth and development that might including critical thinking, problem solving, communication skills, listener skills, imitation skills, attendance skills, different type of skills. So depend on the assessment, there would come a result that would show us what is the child need. Child need, as we mentioned, different disciplines, and the amount of services that the child would need. Okay, so once the need decided, now you are on the first step of the way of your journey with the child. You know what is the right services. Now you are guided. You know where to go. You know which therapist or which discipline should you visit first. When you decide to go to make therapy, absolutely as a parent, it's your right to ask, who is my child therapist? I mean, to ask if he is already certified, if he is already accredited to be the correct person to provide the services for your child. Once you are sure that this is the right person, then this is the right person to teach your child, and at the same time to empower you and teach you how to facilitate, how to provide the correct resources, and at the end of the day to apply the same strategies in the natural environment or in a different setting other than the therapy room. Okay. So as a mom, I would advise you, or as a dad, as a parent, I would advise you to attend any single service or any single session that your child is receiving. If it's not possible to be part of all the service journey or of all the sessions that your child is receiving, at least to make a plan where you be part of the highest percentage of this service so you can empower yourself and then the correct way of your to teach your child. So at the end of the day, you will be the child home therapist. This would not come in a day or in a few days. It's a long journey where we need to remember that every child can learn, but in his own way. So the first thing we need to put in our head that no child can be lifted behind, or no person, or no one can be lifted behind. Everyone can learn, but in his own way. So finding the right service, finding the right person will directly help us to find the correct keys to teach our kids, or uh, to teach our kids. Yeah. So once you find these keys, then you are in the right way. You know how to deal with your child and how to teach him. We need to remember that every child, or every skill I need to teach for my child, it will take time, and this time will be different from person to person or from child to child. But at the end of the day, it will happen. The only thing we need to do is to be patient and to make sure while we are using the correct key or the correct way to teach this skill, then at the end of the day, this would happen. Even if it will take longer time or longer time than what am I expected, it will happen at the end of the day. What you need to remember and what you need to make sure of, that to teach the child one skill at a time. So if you are at home working with your child, following the strategies that were given to you by the therapist, you need to remember not to overwhelm or not to overestimate your child willing. So the thing that you need to do is to teach him to pick the priorities, to pick the most important targets that you agreed on with the therapist, and to teach one thing at a time. When you teach one thing at a time, then you are sure that you are not overwhelming your child, and eventually he will learn this skill. How will you prioritize these skills or these targets? The thing that we would recommend all the time as therapists, that think of this skill you are teaching for your child, or the skill that chosen by his team, making sure that you are guiding your child step by step toward independency. At the end of the day, you want to see an independent child, or an independent uh, person who can serve himself, who can do the necessary things for his life, but by himself without the need for others. I wouldn't say everyone would be 100% independent from the beginning, but building up skill step by step, it will help to go towards independence. Let's agree on other definitions. When we talk about autism and talking about autism services, we mentioned earlier that the child would have a team around him. Usually, this team different from person to person, and this is what we agree on from the beginning. I would say the most discipline, or the most science that proves through researches and through resources, the most effective results to work with autism is applied behavior analysis, or ABA, the behavior therapy. The main idea or the main role of behavior therapists is to teach children and their families how to strengthen how to strengthen positive child behavior, and to eliminate or reduce the unwanted problem behaviors. So all the time when you think of behavior therapy, I know there is a traditional image about behavior therapy where when parents or when the community hear the word behavior therapy or ABA, they would directly think about how to manage the unwanted behavior or how to help the child to stop crying or stop shouting or just be sitting on the chair all the time, or I would say for a long time. But this is not real, to be honest. It's a myth, and of course, it came from uh, I would say from malpractice of the science or of the discipline. But all the correct the correct or the fact about ABM that it balance or it work on two different things at the same time, where it work on strengthening and empowering positive behavior or wanted behavior, which we call skill, to build up skills, building up these skills, and at the same time balance between these skills and the unwanted behavior. So the skill, I would call it the wanted behavior, which I want to strengthen, and I want to see these skills level going up with time. And the other hand, it will have the unwanted behavior or the problem behavior, which I will work on and to decrease at the same time while or to see the level is decreasing. And to think about this, of course, everyone on the earth or everyone in the globe have behavior, including myself, including every one of you, but this behavior is different from person to person. These behaviors might be on high level, might be on low level, or sometimes it might need help or support from different people. So, for example, if I have an unwanted behavior or a negative behavior that I would say annoying me or annoying people around me, if I can manage this behavior or if I can control myself to control this behavior, to like to eliminate or to replace it with other things, then I would say literally I might be on the safe side. But if this behavior going into extremes where it would affect the life, the person life, the learning of the child, the learning of the person, it would affect the people around him. I would say in a way or another that would prevent him from being part of his community, and he can't control or he's not able anymore to control this behavior by either not showing the behavior, eliminating, or replacing by other suitable one, then I would say at this moment we need support or we need help from other parties. And this other parties usually is the therapist who would help you to build up the plan of how to eliminate these behaviors or decrease the occurrence of this behavior and build up other skills. And when I say balance, usually with researches and in the references, we see that behavior all the time have different reasons or different functions to happen. And in summary, I would say there are four main reasons or four main functions for behavior occurrence that include escape, seeking attention, getting access for tangible or for something, or self-stimulatory or sensory behavior. And when I say there is a function for the behavior, that means the person is using this behavior to express or to overcome a need that he can't or he doesn't know how to express it well. Going back to our main topic, which is how to help myself or how to help my son by being his home therapist, I would recommend for you, after having this holistic look or holistic image by or getting this image with the support or the help of the child team, to know your child willings, to know your child's strengths, to know your child weaknesses. But I would never focus on the weakness. I would all the time focus on the strength and to build on them with time. So building on these strengths, it will guide me to, as we mentioned earlier, guiding toward independency, having the child building up these skills. We will see these skills going up in the level, and at the same time, you will see the unwanted behavior going down. When you have this full image or clear image in front of you, you will be able to support your son. First of all, as I mentioned, as I recommend, and oh, this is my everyday or every single minute recommendation, be part of your child plan. You are already part of the team. You are the one who spend the most time with your child. So it's your right to be empowered, to learn how to, or to get all the keys that would help your child and help you at the same time. Attend the sessions, attend all the meetings, attend all the learning opportunities that would help your son. Don't attend in a way that you are physically there only. No, attend physically and mentally. Ask questions. Get these questions ready before the session, or even if you have before the class. I mean, or even if you have these questions during the class, don't hesitate to ask these questions and to get a clear answer. Even if you feel like this question is simple, this question is not appropriate, there will be no harm to ask the question and get a clear answer. Like, for example, when you are in the child class, you can just ask the therapist, for example, why you are doing this activity, why you are using this toy, how can I replace this toy at home? So this kind of a question, it will empower you to know, like, what is the reason behind using these activities. Like if the therapist spends 1 hour, for example, sorry, playing puzzle with your child in the class, you will be like, I would never spend 1 hour playing with my child at home with puzzle. Even he will not sit with me for puzzle for 1 hour, with puzzle for 1 hour. That would, like, when you ask these questions, it will clarify the reason why the therapist is using puzzle. Okay, so when you know the reason, then you will have ideas how to do the puzzle at home, or to replace the puzzle with other activity at home to get the same target, which will help you to make your life easier, to make your child life easier, and at the same time to build up the skill faster. So if the therapist will have the opportunity to repeat the activity or to repeat the instruction for your child 2 or 3 or 10 times or 20 times per day, then you have the triple or quadruple the opportunity because you spend longer time with him at home. So if the therapist purpose to do the puzzle, to for example, to follow instructions or to listen to the instructions, and the therapist will get the chance to give the instruction 10 times per hour, you have at home different opportunities to give instructions while you're in the car, while you're in the kitchen, while you are dressing up, eating, drinking, going toilet, brushing teeth. So if you have 7 different activities, in each activity you will use the following instruction 5 times, then you have barely 35 times to do the instruction. And still, I did not mention all the activities you can do at home, or all the opportunities you might have at home. Asking the questions is something vital for you to learn and to help yourself and help your son more. Other questions I would advise you to ask yourself before doing these things: why am I doing therapy? Why do my son need therapy? So when you ask yourself this question and you get a clear answer, then you would know, am I in the right way or not? Is my son getting the correct therapy or not? Or are we using, or are we going in the right way or not? So once you have this clear answer, and who will answer this question for you? As we mentioned earlier, the assessment that the therapist will be doing, he will clarify for you that, for example, your son will need, for example, 20 hours per week. These 20 hours will be done with a behavior therapist. This behavior therapist will build up a plan, depend on the assessment, which is the individualized educational plan or the individualized family support plan. The only difference between these two, if we have individualized education plan, then we have academic goals mainly. But if we have individualized family support plan, then these goals will be shared between home and the rehabilitation center. In any way, once you have this plan, you will have clear goals, and these goals, every goal will be under different target, or under different area of growth and development. So why do my son need therapy? You will see the gaps in this plan. You will see the strength as well. So you might see a strength, for example, The child can communicate verbally. This is a strength which I will need to build up and to build up the weaknesses. For example, listener skills, imitation skills, academic skills, social interaction skills. So in this plan, I would know why my son really, or why do my daughter needs therapy, which areas we need to build on. Once you have these areas clear, once you have these goals clear, you can learn from your therapist, go back home, go back mall, go back to the park, go back to your natural environment, or go to school to apply these strategies, or to apply these goals, which will help, as we mentioned earlier, with repetition to build up the skill faster. And at the end of the day, your son will reach independency faster. And don't forget that you will be at some point independent, which means like sometimes you might struggle with your son to learn a new skill or to manage some behavior. So instead of every time to pick up to pick up the phone and call the therapist or call a consultant, like what should I do here? What should I do there? You know, I struggled at that moment and I canceled all my day plan not to do anything because I couldn't plan. But when you are empowered and you have the skill, you will not need every single moment to pick up the phone. You will remember, like, yes, I know in this situation I need to use this strategy. Or you would say, I know the therapist uses this strategy for one, two, three. Then I have the key. I can use it, and it would successfully happen. I wouldn't say it's a magic touch, or I wouldn't say you have the magician stick. No, with time, with consistency is the key. So if you do repeat the exact same thing every time, then eventually you will reach your target. And as we mentioned, reaching your independency step by step. It's not like this journey is not for your child only. It's a collaborative journey. Everyone is learning from the other. The child will learn from his parents and from his team, therapists and teachers, and the mom will be learning from her son and from the therapist, and the therapist as well. The therapist will learn from the child, will learn from the school, will learn from the mom as well, because everyone will have his own experience. He will have his own situations, and once we have all these pieces all together, let's imagine that these experiences are puzzle pieces. So if you collect all of them together, then we will reach a full image. Everyone will learn from others, but the clear image will be accessible for all of us. The other thing I would recommend from attending the session or learning from the therapist is to understand the therapy style. Okay, so which means I wouldn't say there are hundreds of styles, but usually the style of therapy depend on therapist personality, the therapist school and background. Uh, the main keys or the main strategies are never different. It's all the same. But the way of delivering this service or the way of delivering these instruction or this strategy, it might be different from one to one, as we mentioned earlier, depend on the personality of the therapist. So this therapist came from, let's say, from specific school. He was graduated from this school. He learned from these instructors. So he will use their way in addition to his personality. But the other therapist came from different style, came from different school, and he will teach in a different way. It will not harm. It will not harm at the end of the day, as long as you're following a correct plan, you're following the child needs, it will not harm. But as a team, we need to unify the style. So if you have your own style, it's okay to use it, but we need to meet at some point. So again, the child will have consistency. So I will not deal with him in a way that is different from the other therapist way, that is different from the mom's way. That's why the team meetings or the team agreement on one way, it will help the child to meet the consistency and to meet his goal earlier. As a mom, once you learn the style, it will be way easier for you to apply these strategies. I'll give you a very simple example. For example, if the therapist style when he delivers the instruction to your child is to use the normal speaking tone. So he wouldn't be very loud, he wouldn't be very soft. It's the normal thing, which is the correct thing. Because once the child leaves the therapy room, he will meet only this tone from people at the supermarket, at school, in another therapy place, or at home. So it wouldn't be changed from place to place. Some therapists who came from different schools again, they would be like, at the beginning of the therapy journey, we need to change the tone of our voice when we talk to these kids. We need to be more funny, we need to be more childish, we need to be more strict. So depend on the therapist personality. Changing the voice tone while you are talking to the child. When I refer it to some references or to some school says you can change the voice tone by like to motivate the child more or to have it in a more playful way or in more childish way, just to get the child's attention, to attract him more to the therapy. But I would advise to go back to the normal as soon as possible, so the child will not be harmed. So he will have this tone inside the therapy room. He will be responding inside the therapy room only, and when he go out of the therapy room, he will not be responding. That's why we are recommending to have the same tone. So when you attend the child session, and you learn the therapy style, you will know what is the exact way to talk to your child, what is the exact way to deliver the instruction, what is the exact way to get the response from your child. You wouldn't be sitting one day telling why he is responding to the therapist but not me. Why, when I sit with him to do therapy, when to do homework, schoolwork, to eat, he's not eating with me. Why he's doing that with the teacher or with the therapist? So most probably the answer for this question that you and the therapist, you and the teacher are using different styles where the child get distracted. Like, where should I answer? What should I do? Unifying the style, unifying the way, it will help the child being focused, have the consistency, and answer and reach the or achieve the goal in a shorter period. Another recommendation I would give it to you, helping you to be your child home therapy, is to speak up. Okay, so speaking up means, as we said the first recommendation was ask questions, remember? So I advised you to ask questions for the therapist. When I say speak up, then speak up for your therapist the thing that concerned you. So if you have any specific concern that's not some at some point was not included in the plan, like suddenly you have sleeping disturbance with the child, I wouldn't leave it in a way like it would harm him, it would harm me, and there might be a solution, or there might be a suggestion with the therapist. So if you face anything, speak up. Speak up for the therapist about the thing that he can help with. Speak up to your friend, to your husband, to your wife, to your close friends, to your close family members about your emotions or about your feelings or about the thing that they can support with. Speak up about yourself. Speak up about the thing that make you struggle. So whenever you have something new or whenever you have something annoying you, or speak up for with about the achievements, even when you have achievement, when you have success, when you have something new, speak it up. This is speak up. It might open doors for you for things that you maybe you did not notice earlier, or it might open doors that you did not see or you did not notice earlier that might help you and help your child as well. After attending the sessions, after learning or after getting the learning style, I would ask you to practice, 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 and practice. It's okay to practice and fail, fail and practice, practice and success. That's fine. It would never happen from the beginning. And remember, you would never be a full therapist for your child. He's your child at the end of the day. So everyone will have his own role, but you will learn to help him and to help yourself at the same time. So practice to to be to be fluent. Practice to be able to deliver the uh, the instructions, to deliver the or to build up the skills in a fluent way. So you will not be stressed, and the child will notice that you will be ready and the child, of course, will notice that. Remember all the time that our kids are very clever, and they will notice if you are ready, if you are stressed as a mom or as a therapist at the same time. But when you practice more, you will be fluent more. You will have the self-confidence in delivering or in teaching your child, and at the same time to advocate your child. So with the practice, you will know the amount of effort that your child is putting to reach some point, and at the same time the effort that the child therapist is doing to reach a point or to achieve a goal. Another recommendation is to give chances. Give your child chance to achieve the goal, even if you feel like I spend long time teaching him this. Even the therapist, he's giving him a lot of chances, but he's not getting it. Think of changing the way, changing the place, changing the material, changing the therapist himself sometimes. So you might ask your therapist, your child therapist, for example, maybe I can try. Or when you are trying and the goal is not achieved, the therapist might come take your place and tell you, let me try in front of you. So giving more chances for the child, and as we said, no one will be left behind. He will learn at the end of the day at some time and in a specific way. Choose the correct way, choose the correct time, everything will happen eventually. But giving the chance, so no give up, no give up. Remember, don't give up. Even if you spend different hundreds of a trial, a long time, more than what you can expected. Sometimes our expectations cannot be met, unfortunately. But if you are consistent and you keep practice, you keep trying, things will happen eventually. I would ask you at some point that it's okay to take a break if you feel like this is something I can do. This is something still I don't trust myself to do. This is not me. I can't do it anymore. Or it might be not the right time to do it. Then it's okay. Take a break, take a deep breath, and ask yourself what do you want. Because if you do something under pressure, it will not happen eventually. And if you do something that you don't know how to do, or you don't like to do, or you're not sure, you're not confident of doing, it will not happen. Take a break, sit in the corner, observe, and whenever you are ready, step in. But the break will not harm. I would say the opposite might cause the harm, which is doing the job that is out of your willings, or if you do things that you feel like this is not me, this is something I can do, or I have no energy to do this, then you might cause harm. So not to harm, take a break, step back, and then try another way, try another time, try from different point of view. But taking a break will help you to charge, will help you to build up your abilities again to be able to give more. Remember all the time to have a reference, have a trusted reference. Even if you don't have a full team around your child, have the correct person, the trusted person who have the correct assessment, have the correct plan where you can refer to all the time and ask your concerns, and who would be guiding you eventually. Just remember that when you choose the people around your child, the therapist, the doctor, the teacher, just to make sure as a mom, it's your right to ask who's this person, what's his qualification, what's his experience, can he do the job or not? Okay, and the size of the team is not the big deal. So if you have one person who's doing the full job, it might be this is the full need for your child, and sometimes you might have a bigger team. These things can go simultaneous. So your child might need a therapy, ongoing therapy, and at the same time still need you at home. This amount of therapy will depend on your child needs. So your child might need 1 hour per day outside home or in rehabilitation center. Sometimes he might need 5 to 8 hours in rehab center. Sometimes he might be at school receiving academics, mainstream curriculum, and rehabilitation services, and still needs you at home. But empowering yourself, as mentioned earlier, will help your child achieve the goals faster and empower you to be your child therapist and face or have the fast action for any situation or for any incident or any chance that would help you. Things that might help you more to be or to support your child at home. So you might tell, I have no resources to provide services for my son at a rehabilitation center. And I would do understand this. Sometimes you might be in a place, in a country, in a city, or in a place in the globe where no services, no ABA services in that place. There might be no centers. Or you might be in a place that services are very expensive and you don't have the financial support to provide these services. Or you might be in a place where there are services, but still it's not reachable. It's not easy access for you for any reason or another. Like you know yourself more, you know your resources more. If you can go work around your resources and get the services, it would be great. If not, still this is not the end of the world. I wouldn't say you can have your child without services or with zero services, but if this is the only option you have, I would recommend you either to have online consultation, online therapy, if it's accessible or if it's something possible for you. If not, still you can go for empowering yourself. You can be a certified mom, a certified therapist as a mom, to have accredited training, not for the idea of having the credential, of course, but for the idea of empowering yourself to support your child. You might go for a non-academic way. Still, you want to read, you want to know, you want to empower yourself, but not in an academic way or not toward a credential. So, what I would recommend you, go Google some resources, but make sure to have a trusted resources. So I wouldn't just open Google and write how to be my child therapist or how to do ABA. No, I wouldn't say this is a trusted resource, because there might be hundreds of references or hundreds of resources on YouTube or hundreds of resources on Google or now social media, as we know, but there might be not trusted. So you have to read and have a trusted reference or read it from a trusted reference. So you would have the correct reference, absolutely. If you get the chance to have therapy for your child, then I would say have a trusted therapy again. Trusted means accredited people, means having some people who they are certified, they have good experience, they can do it correct with your child. It might have different point of views, or it might have different uh, from different experiences from one to one. So this therapist might be one of the best therapists in the world or in his place, and he's certified, accredited, and have a long experience. But your personal experience with him was not okay. There should be a gap, but he might be good for someone else. I wouldn't say uh, I would recommend you to look for options or to try by yourself, not in means of wasting your time or wasting your son's time, but as long as you find the correct place, you find the correct person, then you are in safe hands and you know your child is not wasting the time. Um, Going for non-trusted resources, it will absolutely waste your time. It will absolutely waste your child time, and definitely, while wasting time, finding yourself to restart again, it will be harder than continue in the right way. Sometimes you might find yourself in the wrong way by accident. It's not the end of the world. Still, you have rooms for correction. But what I would recommend you, please be patient, because the restart is all the time harder than the beginning itself. Just remember, no one is perfect. No one know everything. And this is applicable for therapists, centers, and your kids at the same time. So don't expect your son to learn in one place at one time everything you are wishing to. Of course, everyone wish, but we need to be realistic. So make sure no one is perfect. everyone can learn in his own way at the right time. So if he's not learning now, he will learn eventually at the right time using the right place, the right way. And remember again, even if you have a big team around your child or a small team, which might be one person, remember that everyone has his own role as a therapist, as a mom, as a dad, as a doctor, even therapist. If you have team of therapists, behavior therapist, occupational speech, physiotherapist, special educator, make sure everyone has his own role. No one is overcoming. So the child will receive the correct thing and the correct service. Knowledge is power. As much as you know the correct thing, then you are empowering yourself. You will be benefiting your child. You have the full trust of yourself. You have the self confidence to teach your child and absolutely working toward independency, which is our ultimate goal with any child. Wishing to see all of your kids in the right place and in the place they deserve at the end of the day. From my side, this is all. It was a very interesting, and I would be very happy if everyone really get the benefit from my speak. If you have any question, just raise it up, please. Thank you so much.